Sevens Big League finals fever comes to Football Park as 22,000 screaming fans cheer on Port and Glenelg in the 86 qualifying final. Two great sides, both tough and hardened campaigners hungry for success at any cost. And as the Bay's motto this year suggests, the boys from the Bay are back and ready to box on. Box on they did, but today the Magpies were prepared to trade blows. With more details, here's Peter Marker.
Yes, I'm not too sure about the Magpies trading blows. I think there was plenty happening out there, and whether or not it was just the Magpies or the Tigers as well, I think you'll have to draw your own opinion when you watch this replay. Plenty happened. I think there was as much fighting as football in the first quarter. Sensations occurred, of course, when Anderson was stretchered from the ground. He did not return to play football for the rest of the match. Glenelg won the toss, kicked with a pretty strong breeze. It was a fiery opening. Let's pick it up now, 12.5 minutes into the first quarter, with the Bays leading by 2 points.
This time about 15 metres away from the Bay goal. They're struggling at the moment. They've got the breeze at their back. They lead by just 2 points. Tap out finds Russell Boyd. On to Kinnear it goes. His left foot kick searches for Anderson. Kernahan did well. Out wide looking for Maynard. Anderson cuts across in. Support from Marnie. Also Simons for the Bays. Bagger goes to McDermott. He's caught. Strong tackle from Anderson. Holding the ball. A brilliant tackle from the 1986 favourite for the Magarey men.
Tyson's Guernsey too there, David, completely.
Is he ever favourite? He's got it all. Smith underneath the ball. Fine mark and defence by Cruz. Thought about playing on, but couldn't get free of the ruck. Kick to the half-forward line. Curtis. Greg Boyd. Anderson. In towards Russell Johnson. Courage. Lost the footy. Rowan Smith likewise. Try to get it out again. Russell Boyd loses it. Rowan Smith goes in for the third time. On the left leg, he looks for Dwayne Russell. Long lead. Beautifully put. Got it inches, centimetres inside the line, wants to play on, gives a chance now. Harrison tuck themselves into a pocket. It's going to be a difficult kick from there. Although Michael O'Brien got one on the fly. Harrison's about 35-40 metres out. It's his second mark. Off went Dale Lowby, but the ball is close to the line. McFarlane elects to come wide towards grandstand side, a loose ball. The battle of the speedsters. It favours Donovan. He's got nowhere to go except to the boundary line. In goes the bomber. He locks the ball up, and the umpire will bounce from Port Adelaide's half-forward right flank.
Some suggestion during the week that the bomber wouldn't play either, but that's definitely him. He's a bit sore apparently. Hamstring troubles. Peter Carey's being held on to. That's the way it'll go. Tim Hodgman says to Peter Carey, go long, but he didn't. He went short. Chris McDermott there, Guernsey-less. 3 kicks, Russell Boyd. He's played well so far. Clip it under the ball. Through goes Marnie without the ball. Hodgman comes away with it. He looks pretty fit. The handball goes over the top. Maynard now runs through half forward. Thinks about it. Thinks about it again and then kicks an awful ball. A horrible ball. Out of bounds on the full in the right forward pocket.
Yeah, hesitation by Maynard and it cost dearly. I want to give it to the jumperless McDermott. There he is. That's him.
Is that legal?
That's legal.
Can you play without a jumper?
He is.
I don't think you can actually. Although I don't know what he's really going to do about it.
The jumper came out. It almost got to him when he got caught in the action. It is Chris McDermott you're watching. It's his second kick of the afternoon. And he's put it to the square. Harris the lead. Tony Hall. Top mark. Harris came in early and Hall went over the top. And he's got it right in the square. Being put round on a 45-degree angle. There it is. Superb mark from Tony Hall. The kick is accurate. Tony Hall kicks his first. And they go clear. 2-3 for Port Adelaide. 1-1. Top action on Sevens Big League.
Yes, the ball was put up by Chris McDermott, also one of the favourites for the Magarey medal. But you wonder whether he's got the same flair that Anderson's got. Maybe not as noticeable to the umpires, but nevertheless a very fine footballer. He's had a brilliant season. And of course, talking about brilliance, have a look at the mark from Hall. That is brilliant. Plus the Bays 2-3, Port Adelaide 1-1.
Well, Port Adelaide's first 16 minutes has been pretty good. They've gone forward a couple of times and just haven't been able to score. McDermott's got a Guernsey now. The handball out, back to him now. Through goes Martin Leslie. He kicks over half forward. McFarlane goes back. Oh, O'Brien, good mark. Oh, great judgment. Got very long arms. He's a bit like Stephen Copping O'Brien, although slightly more unorthodox. He's a very, very dangerous forward. He's a menace, in fact. He shoots for goal more often than most opponents would like him to. The breeze against him. It's his third kick. Not a bad-looking kick either. He's got distance with that one. No mark taken there by Dwayne Russell. He had a chance, but off hands for a point. Port 1-2, Glenelg 2-3.
It is a danger, Michael O'Brien, and when he kicked the goal and had a couple of shots, Doothy's kick towards David Kernahan, couldn't handle it. The back Kinnear slips it over to Clifford. Clifford on the left hand gets it to Stephen Williams, gets around neatly, then puts it to half forward. Switched to centre-half forward at the moment. In fact, he's playing there. Darren Smith's gone to full forward. Russell into the pocket, looking for Russell Johnson. Carey the spoil. Anderson will be first there. Close to the line. The tackle is high. The vigorous Salisbury. Look, she's on. Lalby went in vigorously. Salisbury was his target. Really no need for it because they'd sorted themselves out. Sure, the tackle from Salisbury was vigorous. It was a high one, but it was nothing more than that. Continues on close to spectators, and common sense should prevail.
Yeah, David, the tackle was a bad one. It was a shocking tackle, and I think the Port Adelaide players have reacted in a way that you perhaps might expect them to when their champion sentiment's put down like that. And in fact, a stretcher has been called, so whether you like it or not, something very significant has happened at the Oval, with the Port Adelaide champion may in fact leave the ground.
Stretcher there for Greg Anderson. He may have had a problem when he hit the turf as well.
Tackle looked very high, David. I just wonder whether it's in the collarbone region or somewhere up there. But
it may have even been higher than that, Ian. It seemed to catch him around the neck, and I think he may have hit his head on the ground as he fell, even though it was a very strong and vigorous tackle.
Russell Ebert and David Boyd not looking very happy at all, understandable.
And Ian, it may have a significant effect on the result of the game too.
He was in fine touch, going like a rocket, but of course he's leaving on a stretcher, so he can always come back if he does recover. But the way the arms are lying, David, I still tend to think it's high, but only time will tell.
He's got that right arm across his body. Let's hope he's okay. Dale Lalby has the shot for goal. He's taken the free kick that Anderson would have had. He's also been given about 30 metres. Not making use of it, although it's a very useful kick, just sliding across the face of goal and through for a point. Well, excitement high here at the park. Greg Anderson leaving the field on a stretcher. Port Adelaide go to 1-3, trailing the Bays 2-3. We've had almost 20 minutes of the first quarter.
Unfortunate action on the Sevens Big League. Well, this is dangerous. Cut off there by Marnie. Rowan Smith had to go back to get it. In goes Darren Smith. Within there, the handball goes out now from Williams. Oh, he's got a chance if he can pick it up. Through goes Cruz. Lost the footy. McFarlane's kick away is not good. The Bomber with a chance. Down they go. Oh, there's a fight behind. Play it on for Young and all. Out comes Darren Smith close to the line. Whips out a handball. Marnie, 30 metres out. Close to the line. The umpire's paid it.
Salisbury went down. Marnie's down. Williams is down, and in fact, Wayne Stringer was on top of him. So you can assume that Scott Salisbury just got one back.
It's like a 10-pin bowling alley out here at the moment, but Michael O'Brien is only 2 metres out from goal. He's going to improve his angle. He pops it through. No, it hit the post. Unbelievable. 1 point only, Port Adelaide. 1-4 to the Bays 2-3.
One gets the feeling that this is going to be a fairly typical Port Glenelg match where you're going to see more than just football. You're going to see plenty more, and I don't really know that I'd like to be in Scott Salisbury's shoes out there, because Greg Anderson is a pretty popular young man. Clifford didn't take the mark. Johnson tried to get it out. Well, lucky free kick there to Greg Boyd. But I think this is the time to play in front, because there's going to be a little bit of manhandling, I fear. And if you play in front, you'll get the advantage. Darren Smith is at full forward. He'd be the target. He's led into the pocket. Dwayne Russell also there. Darren Smith, take your pick. Dwayne Russell takes the mark. Now, Port Adelaide have done a lot of attacking, but O'Brien missed a sitter just a couple of moments ago. Very much doubt whether Dwayne Russell can kick a goal from there. Took him straight into the wind with his third kick. Dwayne Russell, the massive man. 22 minutes gone. The kick won't do much, except give someone a chance to mark it. Oh, Rowan Smith nearly did just that. Boyd in there, fights hard for the ball, but the umpire will bounce it. 23 minutes in.
2-3 the Bays, lead Port Adelaide 1-4. Bounce 30 metres out from the Port Adelaide goal. They've done a lot of tacking in this first quarter. Chance for them now. Stephen Williams will get there first. Salisbury throws himself on top of it. Gets it across cleverly to Wayne Stringer. The Bays are out of troubles momentarily as the kick goes towards centre wing. First to recover was Harrison, all met very solidly by Alan Stringer. Coming clear, Laube puts a short one in, but it wasn't well directed. And in the way, Mark Donovan takes the relieving mark for the Bays. Donovan's at half back. Puts a high one towards centre wing. Setting himself Henwood in the middle, wanted it, not paid, gets it onto Alan Stringer. Now McDermott, he's got the jumper on at last. Puts one deep into the pocket, but Craig Ebert will get across and take the mark.
Ebert for Port Adelaide on the half-back line to defend to the outer side, although Bomber gives him a lead centre field. That's the way the ball will go. Hodgman! I think he's going to get the free kick rather than the mark. Or the man in front's going to get it. It's going to be McDermott, the man in front, for a high tackle. Kick number 4, McDermott puts it up for Seabone. Right with him there's Harris. Over the back it comes. Quickly in now. They're trying to get the ball. Is Maynard. The tackle is high. Umpire Kinnear has given a free kick to the Bays. 25 metres out, virtually right in front. Peter Maynard. Wind assisted. No problem with the distance at all. Crowd of probably about 20,000. Conditions, considering what was promised earlier on Thursday, Friday and Saturday mornings, gee, have improved markedly and conditions fine now for footy. Second kick, Maynard towards the lake end. That's home for all money. Pete puts on his first. The Bays move to 3-3. Port Adelaide 1-4. Top action on Sevens Big League.
Well, that goal really started with the Craig Ebert kick. It just wasn't good enough. It should have been to the outer side of the ground, towards the boundary line. It wasn't. It floated across into the centre. McDermott got it. The kick went forward. And Maynard just happened to get into the act and get a high tackle and kick the goal. So 3-3 Glenelg, Port Adelaide 1-4.
Approaching full time in this first quarter. It will have a fair bit of injury time added. Greg Anderson has gone off the ground on a stretcher, and that took at least 3 or 4 minutes for that to happen. So we could play about 30 minutes of this first quarter. Well, Henwood went in vigorously. Kernahan got clear. She's on again. And here with his hands full. Oops, Harrison and Maynard, and in the middle, Russell's in it. And the umpire sorting it out. It's on the outer side as umpire Hilton tries to sort that one out. And now they've calmed down. There were 2 separate incidents. Let's see what umpire Kinnear has decided. All bar about 6 players down there. He's decided to bounce. Look at the players around the ball. There's plenty of excitement in the first term. It's been a bit of a stop-start game, but temper's very much frayed. A typical Port Adelaide Glenelg clash. Oh, popping in front. Superb mark again. We saw him take a beauty early in the first term. Tony hauls off. So Seabone into the pocket he goes. Seabone got it. Well put by Coffey, but it's not been paid. But I thought he had enough of that, Ian. Umpire Hilton saw it differently. And now there'll be a bounce in that forward pocket.
He seemed to have control, David, I agree, but umpire Hilton, arguably the most improved umpire in South Australia, had a fine season with him, Kinnear, our best umpire. So we've probably got the 2 best umpires out there if the game does get a little out of hand. A throw in right forward pocket. The Bays 3-3, Port Adelaide 1-4. In go the bodies. Henwood over the top. Hall taken away, almost taken away there by Lowby, but the kick goes towards the line and it is out of play. A throw in, and no, it's going to be a free kick going the way of Kernahan. Kernahan puts it up to the half-forward line, looking for Seabohm. All over the top, couldn't bring it down. Escaping out the back there for Port Adelaide is Phelps. He puts it back towards centre wing. Harrison can't get it clear. Over the top is McDermott, and the umpire will ball it up on the half-forward right flank of the Bays.
3-3 the Bays. Port Adelaide 1-4. It's been a fiery opening quarter with Greg Anderson leaving the ground after copping a high one from Salisbury. McDermott's handball wasn't terribly effective. In fact, his face was pushed into the dirt. Harrison, kick smothered by Marshall. There'll be a throw in right half-forward flank for Glenelg. It's on again. I tell you what, it hasn't stopped all day. They're going to get very tired going on with this because there's plenty more to do out there than fight. This, in fact, is round 3, or is it round 6? Marshall's bleeding from the right eye area. There's some players still on the ground, by the way. Unfortunately, the camera can only pick up one part of the action at once. There it is. They're coming in now. Plenty happening at Football Park at the moment.
Peter, there's only 6 players in Port Adelaide's forward division. I would think 6. There's 2. There's 26 players involved in the little fracas out there.
Unbelievable. Well, Marshall is bleeding. And Glenelg get a free kick. Well, obviously the umpire saw something which we couldn't hope to see from this distance. But Peter Carey gets the free kick, his 4th kick. Big pack of players there. A punch away from Phelps, sees the ball go into the pocket. And we'll see a throw in as we're well into time on, but as David Darcy mentioned, there'll be plenty of it in this quarter.
3-3 the Bays, lead Port Adelaide 1-4. The Bays going wind assisted in this first term. The tap over the back. Stephen Williams in trouble. He's got a free for a high tackle. It's a beautiful tap, or was it a push in the back? Perhaps a push in the back, and he's got 15 metres to boot. Kick number 3 for Stephen Williams is towards the centre of the ground. Cruz, well done, one-handed. Kept Russell off with one and took it in brilliantly. Maynard directs it towards half-forward and finds Coffey. Well put by Peter Maynard. Coffey wants to go on quickly. Seabohm heads off. This being played down the ground. Seabohm has it. Foolish play by Dale Lowby. And this has given Seabohm a golden opportunity now, just 20 metres out, although the angle is reasonably acute. Important shot late in the first term. Seabohm hasn't let them down. That's a good kick. He's burned his spurs. Bad defensive work by the Magpies. The Bays go to head 4-3 for Port Adelaide 1-4.
The Bays led by 23 points at quarter time. Port kicked 5-8 to 3 goals in the second quarter to trail by 3 points at half time. Let's pick it up at the 14-minute mark of the third quarter now, with the Bays leading by 7 points.
Kicked 1 goal in this quarter. Port have added 2 points. It's been a pretty negative quarter. Port doing well. They must be pleased at the moment to be in so close touch. They've got the breeze to come home with in the last term. The repair work to Michael O'Brien has been completed as the kick heads towards half-forward in the Russell area. Taken by Cruz and belted forward with the left boot. Opportunity for Tony Hall. Beautifully finessed and turns out of trouble with ridiculous ease. Seabohm out in front. Beautifully done, Tony Hall. The pass was good. And Seabohm out in front takes a fine mark. Mark number 1 for John Seabohm. He's had very limited opportunities. Second kick for the afternoon. His only kick has resulted in a goal. That's 2 from 2. Not a bad effort from the full forward, but he's had few opportunities, as I said. 2 goals into Seabohm. The Bays go to 10-3, leading Port 6-14.
The Bays interchange Hodgman with Kidney, and certainly the Bays needed that goal. Kicking with the last use of the breeze, they'd gone 15 minutes into the quarter. Up until that stage, they'd only had a 7-point lead. One that they badly needed. Fine mark by Seabohm. Beautifully done, Tony Hall. 10-3, playing 6-14.
Yes, it was a missed kick by Russell Boyd then that caused that goal, and Port Adelaide have suffered a lot with errors in this game. There's Maynard. Pushing the back was the call. goes for distance with the torpedo punt to centre half forward. Oh, Tony Hall flew across the top of the pack. Curtis fights at the bottom of it. Craig Ebert also. Curtis, nowhere to go, and finally a bounce. The Mays in front by 13 points, but going with the breeze. Adelaide will come home with it, but of course, as so often happens, the side that's got to go against it for 2 quarters hasn't got much left to come home with it in the last. Of course, that doesn't always have to happen. There's going to be a rebounce now. Umpire Hilton, that's twice he's done that today, but at least he's got courage in front of a big crowd to recall the bounce.
13 points, the Rays lead. 17 minutes gone. Bounce again, a little better, marginally better. Leslie the opportunity at the back. Tony Hall went down. The umpire saw it. It was against Dale Lowby, I think, yes. Umpire Hilton having a word to him now. There's really no need for it because Martin Leslie was clear and was off. Well, they're going to pay dearly for that one. Tony Hall now from 20 metres out directly in front. Costly mistake. Kick number 7 for Hall. He's booted 1 in the first turn. He's booted 2 now. And a very, very stupid error proves very costly for the Magpies. They trail 6-14 to Glenelg 11-3.
Yes, a little bit of inexperience then by Dale Lowby. You don't do those sort of things, especially in defence when your teammate's got the ball. Tony Hall, who's been pretty well held, considering his brilliance all afternoon. He only needs an opportunity like that. He gave one to Seabohm a little while ago. Got one himself now, and the Bays are starting to get a platform. They lead by 19 points, 11-3 to 6-14.
That's a good lead too at the 18-minute mark of this third quarter. Port Adelaide will need to be a little bit more effective, particularly in attack. Martin Leslie, who was pulled to the ground just before delivery, and away goes Maynard again. Through half forward he goes, he hooks it back. Fine looking kick initially that runs into the open space. Ben Harris, Seabohm collided there with a Port Adelaide player. There's a bit of a scuffle in the square. The kick finds Harrison on the outer side, half back. Port Adelaide have, as I mentioned, paid dearly because of some mistakes. Harrison now up towards centre wing. Russell Johnston put one hand up. Well, that's a good tackle by Rowan Smith. That's a fantastic tackle. Applied to Kidney. Rowan Smith now on centre wing. O'Brien, who just had a dislocated finger attended to. Let's have a look at the way he goes for that. McFarlane went for the thump. Stephen Williams again. He's going to go for distance. The lead is on Darren Smith. Can't half volley it. Tries to smash it away. Through goes Cruz. He couldn't go through with the ball. Biarchi, nowhere to go. Got the handball out. Here's a big chance, Port Adelaide. They've got players up with the ball. Greg Boyd, O'Brien. Can he hook around? Oh, Darren Smith. He's got it. Darren Smith put it through. Oh, they had plenty of opportunities. Smith's got his first goal. Port Adelaide 7-14. The Bays 11-3 on 7's big lead.
Centre bounce, Carey against Johnston. Johnston's tap away. McDermott was in there. Carey comes out with a foot. He puts in a long one. Getting back on Ebert. Seabohm comes to meet that player. Out goes Ebert. Harris the ball. Rises one. That is the Bay supporters happy with that decision. What a place to get a free kick. 20 metres out in front of goal. Copping has booted one in the second quarter. It's his 8th kick. Not a difficult kick. The breeze is coming in slightly from his left to right. Gee, he's made it difficult. Well offline for the minor score. The Bays, who have kicked pretty well up to date, now move to 11-4. Port Adelaide 7-14.
Moving up on 21 minutes. Curtis goes to the outer side. Russell Johnston, Peter Carey, the big chap, a bit too strong in front. Plus 15. Well, the Bay's getting plenty up there now. Port 7-14, the Bays 11-4. Carey's kick will land in the square. Well, plenty of players in there, off hands, Copping. Nowhere to go. He got boot to the ball finally. It's a point. Good opportunity too. They've met at Football Park 9 times in the major round. Port Adelaide have won 7, the Bays 2.
Been a bit of a drought for Copping today. He's only booted 1. Johnson gets put down, nothing much in that, although Garton cops a 15-metre penalty. Leslie's been set up. Simons flew over the top but couldn't hold it. Well done, Leslie. Provides the Shepherd. Simons hits the ground as Russell Boyd's kick is towards half forward. Darren Smith at the back. Good defence by Doocy, however. Rowan Smith a bit quiet in this turn, but had a sensational first half. Russell, great second quarter. Puts it in towards the full forward area. McFarlane at the back. There's 3 on 2 down there, and it's in the Port Adelaide favour. All going to ground with Salisbury. And umpire Kinnear into bounce. Right forward pocket. Magpies at the moment have got players at the fall of the ball. They've had 21 scoring shots to 16, and they trail by 15 points. Dwayne Russell trying to keep it in play, gets unloaded, but the ball dribbles out now. Throw in right half forward flank.
Bays by 15 points. 23 minutes gone. Johnson against Carey. Carey over the top, tried to get it back to McDermott. In there was Kidney, lost the footy. Boyd likewise battles in again. Russell Boyd well done. He looked like he was going to lose it and couldn't get it back again. Right forward bounce down. Port Adelaide in attack, the body's in again. Kidney hard, can't get it out. Throws over the top, in goes Rowan Smith. Maynard, Simons, hooks around the corner to the lead of Hall. He's got centre wing, elects to play on now, puts a long one in. Gee, there's not a lot of players there. Guard on back in there, at the back, well done Kinnear. Well clear now as he comes off the half back line, puts it, oh, that's out of bounds on the floor. And the penalty free kick will go to Simons. Simons looking in field for a pass, kick number 10. Goes in high, coming to meet it and doing it well as Alan Stringer. Might be too far out to score, not much to shoot at. 1-on-1, or going in there towards Maynard. Now Seabohm, he'll need help. Puts out the handball, Maynard searching for it. Got no help at all. The bomber back in defence. On the left leg, puts it out wide. 1-on-1, Kernahan with Harrison. Kernahan gets the handball over now towards Marshall. Marshall close to the line. And the umpire will ball it in the right forward pocket.
Right forward pocket, Port Adelaide defending pretty well at the moment, but the Bays have still got that 15-point lead. Port wouldn't want that to be extended, obviously, before the break. Another bounce down about 30 metres from the Glenelg goal. We're approaching time on. Peter Maynard's booted 3 for the Bays. Tony Hall 2 and Seabohm 2. Rowan Smith has got 2 for Port Adelaide. Down it comes to Clifford again. Gets that left boot to the ball. Rowan Smith, Donovan, close to the line, out. Remember that qualifying final back in 1982. The infamous one. Not a qualifying, it was a preliminary final in fact. Port Adelaide beaten by a point on that occasion. But this is the first time the sides have met in a qualifying final at Football Park. It's out of bounds, centre wing. Free kick to be taken out there by Wayne Stringer. Plays around Boyd. Centres the ball. Plenty of Glenelg players there. Ooh. Who's going to be paid? Alan Stringer. Well, pretty hard to pick. Oh, good mark, Curtis. He cut that off. Not the best kick from Alan Stringer. Peter Carey's telling him all about it. The outer side of the ground is the target. Big man's out there himself, Dwayne Russell, couldn't mark the ball, so the umpire will bounce it as we move into time on in this third quarter.
7:14, Port Adelaide trail the Bays, 11-5. Good crowd in, and Graham Corn somewhere in the middle there. I don't think he's got enough lead at the moment. Port Adelaide to come home with the breeze. He'd be looking for 2 or 3 extra goals up his sleeve. Oh, it's been a pretty torrid game, and anything can happen in that last quarter. Throw in on the outer side. We've gone past a minute of time on. Carey uncontested, belts it forward. Awkward bounce for Phelps. Williams held without it. Stephen Williams takes the free. McDermott not happy, and McDermott's had a him, a pretty quiet one today. Speculation speculation before the game started that he wouldn't take his place in the side. I just wonder if there is an injury problem with Chris McDermott. Certainly not with Peter Carey. Big Suit takes another mark. That's his fourth for the afternoon. Bangs it towards Garton at centre-half forward. At the back, Leslie. Leslie thwarts that forward move from Glenelg. Horrible kick. Terrible kick from Leslie. He's put it straight in the arms of David Kernahan.
The Bay's forwards out of position at the moment. Oh, Garton and Blatton pushing the back. And the kicking hasn't been all that good this afternoon. Quite a lot of passes have gone to the opposition. Leslie has Curtis wide. Kick number 12, Martin Leslie. Oh, that's going to drop short. Johnson in, can't get it. Ball beautifully played. Left leg, gee, that's a ground covering kick up towards the right forward pocket. But Big Ben Harris gets his chest behind the ball and takes the defensive mark. Edges the ball out towards the outer side there. Marshall, the umpire said play on. Marshall gave it away now to McDermott in turn. Copping puts in a long one. Gee, that could be a goal. Curtis right on the last line there, and the umpire said it's brilliant goal. Stephen Copping pulled it well across the base. That's his second. The Bays needed it into time on in the third quarter. 13-5, they lead Port Adelaide 7-14.
Well, that was an amazing goal. Most supporters, I think, were looking at the goal umpire, who appeared to be way off centre. In fact, he was right over in that left-hand point area. It was a great kick by Stephen Copping to bring up his second goal. And Glenelg's 12. 12-5 to 7-14 on Seven's big lead.
3 minutes of time on gone in this third quarter. Pretty handy lead. 21 points. Time will tell whether it's enough or not. It's going to be Russell Johnson against Carey at a battle royal this afternoon. Flying from the side, taking the ball out of the air as Carey appeals for a free kick was Dwayne Russell, but it was not to be. Important goal, that last one from Copping, late in this quarter. Just given the Bays that extra breathing space that's required as Marshall pulls them forward again. Or Alan Stringer leaping high, hopping again. Campbell scored, Marshall's clear, 30 metres out. The kick has been touched off the boot and is dribbled through for a point. Gee, great chance there for the Bays as the siren goes. They could have got one right on the siren, but in the end got only a point. So at three-quarter time, Port Adelaide trail. They're 7-14-56, trailing Glenelg 12-6-78.
The final quarter from Footy Park, qualifying final. Glenelg now by 22 points, but Port Adelaide to come home with the breeze. Carey gets the tap away. Henwood back on the turf, gets the tap, but it was kicked into attack by Williams up towards the half-forward line. Umpire seen a high tackle. It's going the way of Cruz. Whips it out wide. Salisbury off the half-back line. Kicks long to the lead of Stringer. Uses his body well. Takes the mark. Marshall the running player. Up goes Seabohm up towards full forward. Gets the leap away. And there is Kidney. Now it's taken away by Henwood. The bounce could determine. Favours Copping. This way, that way. He's going to concede ground. Beautifully done. Henwood's got it. Thought about playing off. Two Port Adelaide defenders. Bore down upon him, changed his mind wisely, and he's got a chance from 30 metres out. The Bays by 22 points, and this will give them a big lift if it goes through. Kick number 2. Oh, it's an awkward-looking kick, but I think he bottled it. Oh, what a goal! I think the Port Adelaide defender could have touched that, but he's gone very quickly. Henwood's first, Glenelg 13-6, Port Adelaide 7-14.
Well, the Bays got the first goal, and that was a very important one. It was Copping who speared the ball back to Henwood, and Henwood was waiting back at centre-half forward. The breeze appears to have dropped just marginally, and Henwood's kick just made the distance. Perhaps Port Adelaide defender could have stopped it.
A huge job confronting Port Adelaide now as a deficit is 28 points. Bays drawing first blood in this last quarter. Henwood had a pretty quiet day. Leslie's been the star in defence for Port. He's beaten Henwood in first place, and then more latterly Adam Garton. Carey got the tap forward. Working hard at the bottom of the pack was Maynard. Maynard had a pretty successful day himself. He's booted 3 goals, picked up kicks all round the ground. He's had 14 kicks, in fact, and 4 handballs, Peter Maynard. Been a good player too, Stephen Williams, and he thumps it back towards half forward. Chance for Darren Smith, left it behind. And Wayne Stringer got out of trouble easily. The kick was to the line and he's found his target. And that's solid defence again from Wayne Stringer. And this Bay defence has been pretty solid. Cruz has done a reasonably good job at centre half back. Russell was good in the second quarter, but for the best part of the day he's been pretty well held by Max Cruz.
Port Adelaide through Clifford. Get the kick high and towards the pocket. Cruz, top mark. He's playing well under extreme pressure. It's his 5th mark. Gets a 15-metre penalty. Kick number 9, Max Cruz. Carey's on the outer side. With him is Russell Johnson. They've been shadowing one another all afternoon. Ball going out towards those 2 players. Big leap there, thumped away. Maynard back in defence. Hooks the ball high, and that could float out on the full. It does, and the free kick will go to Martin Leslie, arguably Port Adelaide's best player. Leslie from the attack side of centre wing.
Centres the ball with his 12th kick. Centre half forward now, Carey. Very strong in defence. Good mark. Turned his back on the play then, Peter Carey. Now puts it wide. Simons goes for the one-hander. Couldn't quite pull it off. Hooks it back to a centre wing now. Henwood couldn't take the mark. There's Maynard again. He got a trip, according to umpire Kinnear, and then he gets thrown away. As Henwood gives it back to him. Off he goes. Tried for another free kick. The umpire was suitably unimpressed. No chance, O'Brien. Hall. Brilliant Hall. Top player. Henwood. Kernahan. Well done from Henwood then. Kernahan chips short to Copping. He's got it at right half forward flank. There are 3 players everywhere now. Marshall's one of them. Now he's got it. Port Adelaide are a little bit loose in defence presently, and they're paying dearly for it. Marshall hasn't had a big day. This is his 5th kick. He's had 7 handballs. Kicked a goal in the second quarter. He's giving this one plenty of thought. Good kick normally, Marshall. That's going to hook too far across. A point. Not a bad effort though. Glenelg 13-7, Port Adelaide 7-14.
It was a very good effort, Peter. Put it in the right spot, but the breeze just marginally across the face of goal. Ben Harris back at full back, kicks to the outer side. Russell Johnson at the back. Carey had front spot, throws himself at it. Well done. Gets it back in the direction of McDermott. Turns out of trouble and then has time to steady. Boot it back towards centre half forward. Kidney late. Took it out of the hands of Curtis. Now Copping wants support. The running player is Simons. Calling for it was Garton in the square. With him Harris. Harris at the back. Well done. Good mark. Timely mark in defence. Lays it off to Stephen Williams. Porter out of trouble as the kick comes to the middle of the ground where Clifford takes the mark. He's just on the defensive side of centre. The bomber. Handballs it wide to the running Harrison. I'll go deep into a tackle, though that's not a good kick. It wobbles towards half forward. Almost Fiacci. First to recover. No pressure applied as Fiacci hooks around the corner. Smith. Punch clear, however, by Dookie. Good defence again. And he's put it through for a point. Port Adelaide moved to 7-15. The Bays lead as we go to the 6-minute mark of the last quarter there, 13-7.
Intelligent football by Chris Duthie. He added a bit of height and a bit of know-how in the Bay defence as he kicks out wide. Smith out there, Carey into the back of that player, and Smith is going to get a free kick. Darren Smith might be just beyond his distance. Off goes Russell Johnson on a lead. Kick number 4, Darren Smith. But he's going to chance his arm and go for home with a long one. It's going to be short. Dwayne Russell in the middle of the pack. Thump clear again. Here's a chance now. Stephen Williams beats one. Tries to beat another. Lost it in. There goes Lowby. He's lost it as well. Now it's Fiacci. Gets it out wide. Russell Boyd shoots for goal. And he's got it. What a goal. Russell Boyd's first. One that Port Adelaide needed. 8:15. They trail the Bays 13-7.
Well, they're very hard to get those, and both Stephen Williams and also Dale Lowby involved, and then Fiacci. That was the final handball, and Russell Boyd, very difficult position to be in. 1 or 2 steps, put it through for his first. Port Adelaide still a chance.
Back to where we were at the start of this last quarter, 22 points the difference, Glenelg on top. And we've had 7 minutes. Wayne Russell's caught with it. Held to him, says umpire Hilton. So bounce, just the attacking side of the centre for Port Adelaide. Need a bit of a flurry here. If they can get a couple of quick ones, then they're in this with a big chance. Carey has 2 jumping against him. Russell goes over the top, but finds only Cruz. Oh, that's a beautifully put ball to Alan Stringer. Off goes Copping. Garton on a long way, beautifully placed. And Adam Garton has it deep in the right forward pocket. Copping calling for it long. It's only the 3rd kick of the afternoon for Garton. Going close, swinging back. Oh, that's there, I think. Goal! Great goal to Adam Garton. Put it in the right spot. His first. The Mays go further ahead now. 14-7 to Port Adelaide. 8-15.
What a magnificent kick from the most difficult angle at Football Park. He's brought that back, I would think, probably 8 or 9 metres. Let's have a look at it in replay. There it starts out at the behind post, comes back, and that is a brilliant kick. Adam Garton beats the hands of Craig Ebert, who was rather hoping they'd say he'd touched it.
Peter Carey in the middle, gave it to McDermott. Bay's doing as they want at the moment. It's a free kick downfield. Will go against Harrison for applying the tackle to McDermott too long. So it's Tony Hall on the outer side of the ground. Marshall next. Very slack defence, Port Adelaide. They just appear to be letting things happen out there at the moment. Copping, edged out of the way by Ebert. Over goes the goal umpire. Yes, the decision. He gave it a point. The Bays 14-8, Port Adelaide 8-15.
Goal umpire Des Hildebrand having a bit of a tumble. Simon's almost one-handed. Russell Boyd twists out of trouble now. He's got a player loose. Harris towards centre wing, gets unloaded. And then FAD for sure. But Stephen Williams had taken the mark anyway. So Port to go forward. Kick number 13 from Williams is towards centre half forward. Russell. Ball should have been played. Should have enough of that. Kick here came from Donovan towards centre wing. Alan Stringer. Get a goal. Leave him with a chance. The handball on the Maynard. Now he's heading backwards. Alan Stringer will get it. Puts it in high into the pocket. Him with a chance. Leslie with him. Leslie's done a great job at centre half back today. Himmet kicks the ball in front of him, then tunnels it back to Copping. David Kernahan, a strong tackle from Curtis. Simons under pressure, pops one high. Gets a free. Oh, gets unloaded too by Stephen Curtis. 15-metre penalty being applied, and Simons comes within kicking distance now. Earlessness from Stephen Curtis. The 3 had already been played, and the cop 15 metres at that stage. It was an elementary mistake. Simons, if he saw what Garton did with the last one, would be aiming about 9 or 10 metres right of the right-hand goal post. He's got a chance. Oh, great goal, Tony Simons. Hayes can do no wrong. He's driven his burst on the way home. 15-8 to Port, 8-15.
And the Bays went on to win the qualifying final by 47 points, 18-10 to 9-17. Maynard booted 3 for the Bays, Simons, Hall, Copping, Garton and Seabohm 2 each, and Rowan Smith booted 2 for the Magpies. After the game, Ende caught up with Glenelg's Peter Maynard and Port coach Russell Ebert.
What made you start to run so much better in that final quarter? You know, that was, Graham Corns thought it was your best quarter.
Yeah, it was our best quarter, but I think we set it up in the 3rd quarter. At half-time, it was really close, and we come out and we started to get that run going, and it's been one of our best quarters all year, is our 3rd quarter.
Peter, well played. Good luck next week.
Thanks very much, eh?
Russell, the story of the game unfolded in the 2nd quarter. There were 3 or 4 things that happened there. Let's analyse them. Firstly, Greg Anderson, the loss of Greg Anderson.
Yeah, well, no side can win a final without their best player. And we lost our best player, and you can make all the comments on that. I won't make anything. And you're just the best side. The side can't, as I said, win finals without your best ball getting, your most damaging player.
Notwithstanding that, you had, I think, 13 scoring shots to 3 in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah.
You kicked 5-8 to 3 straight goals.
Yep. well, that's bad kicking, and the old cliche, bad kicking is bad football. And you just, in finals, once again, you don't get the opportunities you get in the minor round, and so you must convert as many opportunities as go down the ground as you possibly can. And Glenelg did that. I think the scoring shots were the same in the end, and we really had the opportunity to wrap the game up before half-time, and 5-8 to 3 goals is absolutely pathetic.
Just talking about that third thing that happened was just before half-time. I think you got 7 or 8 points clear, and then they got 2 goals very late that meant that you went in at half-time 3 or 4 points down.
Yeah, well, we've been doing that, and I just can't understand why, and we just don't kill sides off. And when you get a side down, you've got to really finish him off, because it's like the old prize fighter in the ring. If you give him a chance, he'll land one back, and if you got him on the ropes or on the canvas, you put him down for good, and we're just not doing that.
Bit of philosophy there from Russell Ebert. He's a disappointed man, but Port have another chance next week. World of Sport tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Graham Corns and Russell Johnson will join us for World of Sport, 10 o'clock. Don't miss that. We'll have more football after the break.